So, one call later and I will be getting a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson cardboard cutout. This is horrifying! Yep, I finally did it. Yeah. Alright, let's talk about Ninjago's soft reboots. While we are no longer in the reboot renaissance, reboots are still a fairly common thing in film and games. The idea behind reboots are great. Taking a classic piece and remaking it with modern technology, it's a shame most end up sucking. Now there are a handful of good reboots like Halloween 2018 and Godzilla 2014, but most like Godzilla 1998 and Ghostbusters 2016 just suck, and are made because these franchises are popular and people will flock to see a new Ghostbusters movie. When it comes to reboots, there are two types: soft reboots and hard reboots. A soft reboot is a continuation of an already established story, but things like tone, art style, and characters can change. Take The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess for example. Its story is a continuation of post-Ocarina of Time pre-Majora's Mask, where Ganondorf was exposed for his crimes and almost executed, which led to the events of Twilight Princess. While the tone of Twilight Princess is in line with Majora's Mask's tone, the art style and characters are mostly different. Meanwhile, a hard reboot would be something like Breath of the Wild. It has all the characteristics of a soft reboot, but is not the continuation of a story. Now, Breath of the Wild does take place after every other game in the series, but it's not a continuation of any of their stories. It goes back to the series' roots of a non-linear adventure with the ultimate goal of rescuing Zelda. And when it comes to soft reboots, Ninjago is no stranger, especially since one of the seasons is straight up called Rebooted. Ninjago has had 3 soft reboots, and today I'm going to talk about all of them. What changed between them, what changed the same, and overall if I think the reboots were worth it. The first soft reboot was from Rebooted to Hands of Time. Originally, Ninjago was only meant to have 2 seasons. Season 2 finished with a nice conclusion, and it was called The Final Battle, so it fits incredibly well. But due to Ninjago's popularity, the theme continued, and so did the show along with it. Ninjago Rebooted was pretty interesting. The first 2 seasons were a nice mix of traditional Japanese architecture with some modern technology. Besides the snake people and Spinjitsu and golden weapons, it felt pretty grounded to the time period at the time. However, Rebooted took that and threw it out the window. Ninjago has now been transformed into New Ninjago City, an incredibly technologically advanced city protected by robots. Then of course the Overlord comes around and takes control of them, making things go down. The biggest change in Rebooted was the tone. The first 2 seasons felt like it was just a dumb kids show, and that's fine. But Rebooted did the unthinkable. It feels like a kid's show that also appeals to an older audience. And the tone would stay consistent for the next few seasons. Each season would end with a sacrifice that made my eyes rain, but that was the most serious it really got. Besides that, it was just a fun show about the ninja going on adventures to stop bad guys. This is definitely my favorite era of Ninjago. I adore every one of these seasons, but in 2017, the Ninjago movie was released, which changed Ninjago, for better or for worse. The movie itself is a hard reboot, different tone, different art style, it's a completely new story, and it's pretty alright. But the movie would also change the show. Ninjago's second soft reboot is dubbed as the Oni trilogy, consisting of Sons of Garmadon, Hunted, and March to the Oni. It's a continuation of the plot from Hands of Time, the ninja are looking for Wu. But the tone is completely different. It has a darker, more mature, and serious tone. It's still fun though, there are plenty of lighthearted and fun moments, but this is the darkest Ninjago has ever gotten. The art style is pretty much the same, but the tone alone makes this a soft reboot. These are some of the most beloved Ninjago seasons, but not to me. I like these seasons, but they are so overrated. Personally, the tone is too dark for me, which may seem kinda strange since Majora's Mask is one of my favorite games, but with Ninjago, I like a primarily lighter tone with a very occasional serious moment or two. Regardless, these are still brilliant seasons, but I will always prefer its predecessors. Ninjago Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitsu is the worst Ninjago season, but never mind, it's actually not bad. It was absolutely shredded when it was first released, with a new animation studio doing the animation and the tone being a lot lighter. But personally, I prefer this version of Ninjago all the way. I adore the Fire Chapter because it's mostly a fun, dumb adventure for the ninja to go on while having a serious, oh my god, moment. This soft reboot era has continued ever since season 11 and has a few more changes as well. Seasons now consist of 16 episodes, kind of. It's really confusing. On Netflix, season 11 onward is listed as its own show. Season 11 onward dropped the Masters of Spinjitsu tagline, so it's referred to as season 1 of just Ninjago. I don't really like that since the story is a continuation of the Oni trilogy. We see Lloyd continue to struggle with his father and Arumi throughout these seasons, so to say this is the beginning of a new show is odd. Anyways, Season 1 is just Season 11, then Seasons 2 is Prime Empire and Master of the Mountain. So, we can conclude that 32 episodes or so is a season. But, oh wait, what about the island? That was a 4-episode special, so will that be mushed together with Seabound, or considered its own sub-series? It sets up the events of Seabound, but it's only 4 episodes. It's confusing, which is why most Ninjago fans just say Season 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So some of Ninjago soft reboots have been pretty interesting, but they're all good to an extent. Some act like they made the show better or worse, and while I agree to some extent, I think they're all good. They all have their place and help shape Ninjago's legacy, and since soft reboots worked out so well for Ninjago, I think it's time to do a soft reboot on my life. So I'm gonna continue looking for the point of buying figures early. This has not worked out well.